So we're standing now in the Mediterranean habitat in our greenhouse at the Firs. Now, many of you will have already been to the Mediterranean. You've probably been on holiday to places like Spain or France or Greece. Usually you'll have gone in the middle of summer when it's very hot and very dry and there's very few plants growing. But what actually characterizes the Mediterranean, and what for a plant scientist is really interesting, is what happens in the spring and the autumn, because that's the time when all the growth happens. So the best time to visit the Mediterranean is probably in April. So the characteristic of the Mediterranean climate is it will have very hot, dry summers, and it will have moderately cool, wet winters. But the spring and the autumn are the times when it's both warm and wet, and those are the times when the plants can grow. And that's really what characterizes the Mediterranean habitat. And you can find that habitat not just in the Mediterranean, not just in South Europe, North Africa, but you can find it across the world in different places. So for example, in California, in Chile, and in Australia and South Africa, you find the same sort of habitat. And if you look at the plants growing in those places, they have a lot of the same characteristics. They look very similar. They may be unrelated, but they look very similar to the ones that grow in the Mediterranean in southern Europe. So the tree I'm standing under now is an oak tree. Now, if you're familiar with oak trees in the United Kingdom, you might be quite surprised about that because it looks nothing like an oak tree. But if you get it when it's been flowering, when it's been producing fruit, you'll see that it produces the characteristic fruit of an oak tree. That's to say, it produces acorns. And once you see those acorns, you know straight away that you're looking at an oak tree. But this looks, generally, the foliage looks quite different. The leaves look quite different to an English oak. And this is, in fact, a species of Mediterranean oak, which is called the Holm oak, or it's sometimes known as the holly oak. Now, it has adaptations that allow it to survive in the Mediterranean. So, for example, it has very shiny leaves and very tough leaves. And these leaves are designed both to save water, so they have a furry underside which helps keep the water in. But they also have characteristics which make them less palatable, less tasty for animals. Generally speaking, they have quite tough leaves which are difficult to digest, difficult to eat, but they also, if they are being attacked by animals, and common animals that might eat them include things like goats, they'll also produce noticeably different type of vegetation. So if you look at most of the leaves on the plant, they will have a nice smooth rounded edge. But if we look at these leaves here, you'll see that they have a much more holly-like appearance. They have spikes around the edge of the leaf. And those spikes are produced only when the plant is being eaten or when it's being cut. So the plant detects that it's being attacked and it produces new leaves which are spiky, which are less palatable, which animals won't want to eat.